You can go ahead and take your seat. I hope you said yes, hello to your neighbor, because it will be a very different sight when I keep on telling you, turn to your neighbor and say something and you didn't say hi to them. They'll be looking at you, really? Now you want to talk to me after not saying hi from the beginning? Good morning, everybody. My name is Steve, but you can call me Steve the Rev. Very delighted to be joining you once again. If you are me, you'll be excited as I am to be here, because this is the YXP now. If you are in YXP, make some noise if you know what I'm talking about. When we say this is the best place to be, we actually mean it. This is the best place for you to be right now, this side of heaven. Now, we have been delving into a very interesting series, but before we get into that, did you know that Mike Breen is in the he's in the area code. Papa Mike Breen is the gentleman behind missional communities. Now, is anyone part of a missional community? Oh, are there any people who are not part of a missional community? Oh, now you guys are not telling the truth. Because I asked you, is there anyone who's part of the missional community? A few hands went up. And then I asked, how many of you are not part of a missional community? And all of your hands didn't go up. So that means someone is lying. I don't know who you're lying to, but if you're not part of a missional community, please join one. If you're part of a missional community and you didn't put up your hand, be proud of your missional community, all right? So, Reverend Mike Breen is in town, and we are having a couple of things that are happening. One, we are having the business breakfast, which is happening on Tuesday. If you have not yet signed up, just ask a missional community leader, a pastor, zonal pastors in here, missional community leaders in here. Just put up your hand. Just put up your hand. Oh, from the look of things, there are more missional community leaders on the media team than this side. What a shock. But just ask for the registration details, right? The breakfast is 50,000, and the historical shepherds gathering, which will be on Saturday, is 20,000 shillings, 20,000 Ugandan shillings. You are not paying for the value that you're getting. You're paying for your meals that you're going to have, right? For the water you're going to enjoy. It's very expensive water. You'll be amazed. So to all of you who are visiting us for the very first time, our first-time guests, we are very glad to have you. Thank you for joining us. We always love it when we receive visitors, because we know some of you could be angels. So we are ready to entertain you, and because of that, we are just kindly requesting that at the end of the service, just go through that exit, and there's a special table set up for you. We just want to get to know you a little bit better. I was sent here by Upmore and Pastor Ari, right? I bring you greetings from Upmore and Pastor Ari. Come on, people. Oh, so that's how you receive their greetings. I'm going to tell them, they were looking at me like, But yeah, I bring you greetings. Now, going straight into what we have been talking about. We have been talking about the H word, which is honor. What? Honor. But guys, I'm kindly requesting, could some people fill up these seats here, because it's not cool, it's not good vibes for me to have the first rows. Like, for example, 1, 2, 3 rows, and there are more people at the back than could you kindly requesting the guys at the back, could you come and fill up these seats here? It will help me with my feelings towards you. Yeah, but if you're at the back, there's lots of space here for you to take up if you can kindly. I'm still begging by the mercies of God that maybe the people at the back could kindly consider coming and using these seats, that never know that the blessing of the Lord will start from the front and then move its way back. But by the time... Oh man, you guys, I have to really put in some work for you to move, but I'm glad you've made it. Thank you so much. Thank you. So we are dealing with the honor series, where we are looking at the principle and practices of honor. Earlier on, we learned about the essentials of honor, and last week we talked about honoring. How many people were here last Sunday? And last Sunday we talked about honoring God, right? Now today, we are talking about honoring parents. Come on, people. Do we have any people who have parents in here? Oh, now don't start killing them and acting like they're not alive. Eh? They're alive. So, back in the day when I was younger, one of the cars my father drove and I fell in love with was a Mercedes-Benz. So I said to myself later on in time, when he was not driving a Mercedes, I'm like, one of the gifts I will get him would be a Mercedes. Now you need to know I was still at campus. Needless to say, I was earning less than $40. $40 then. Okay, less than $50 now, a month, right? Not per hour. Which means getting a Mercedes would take me my lifetime for me to buy it, right? So I kept on saying, I will do it. And do you know what happened? In 2019, he did it when he went back to be with the Lord. Guess who had not bought him the car? Yeah, you all can tell that was me. So I'm like, okay, missed out on that. What am I to do? But then later on, in 2020, we start going through still Life Accelerators talking about honor. That was Pastor B3 and Pastor Upmore teaching. And then I realized I had missed an opportunity for me to do that, which is honoring my parents, because I thought I needed a certain amount to honor them. Well, I was not really doing that badly that I never ever shared with my parents money, but you know, I would send them 5,000 shillings at a time while I was working. Back then. Guys, I was not earning much. So the way you're looking at me, it's like you guys end up giving your parents like 1 million every other month. I'm also judging you right now. So, later on, we learn. Okay, I used to like do a very little shopping, but you know, I even look back and I was like, it was simply by the grace of God that I ever bought my parents anything when my father was still alive. But then in 2020, we learned about the practice of honor, and my wife and I decided to, you know what, we are going to honor our parents. So the first month we decided to give our salary to God, honoring God with our first fruits in John. Then the second month we were like, now we'll give our second salary to our parents. That is both spiritual parents and biological parents. So her father is alive, mom is dead. My mother is alive, dad is, in heaven, not dead. So we send my mom money. And do you know, she's like, hey, I received this money. What's up? And we're like, no, we just wanted to share a little gift with you. And she's like, bana bange, mwakuvyo muzungu. For those international people, y'all who don't click the spirit of tongues, all I was saying, beg your pardon? Yes, did we steal from a white person? Like, did we hijack or find a white guy who had money and we decided to hit the white guy so we can have money to give our mom? Then we send money to my father-in-law, and then he starts sending me messages like back to back. Now you need to know that my father-in-law is past 60, eh? So for him, and we had never communicated that much. So he was texting me, thank you very much, Moko, webarenyo. I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. Well, we did the same for our spiritual parents. That is, okay. This gets a little confusing, right? So we recognize two spiritual parents, two couples in our lives. One, the Mukisas, and then the Biomanzis, because the Mukisas have been our disciples for the longest time, and then the Biomanzis were our disciples before we became network leaders. So split, sent, same thing. And man, it's this morning that I realized that year during COVID, we were actually not suffering. You need to, okay, you've never had, some of you who may have never heard our story, we used to earn 1 million shillings as a couple. You need to know that we were not single and dating then, we were married. And we had just 2 kids, yeah? You can do the math. That must be a situra go. But here we are in the lockdown and we are okay. I mean, that year we made the biggest amount we had made, because 6 months back we were just earning about 1 million shillings. And then that January when we started honoring, we start earning 10 million shillings and over. And during the lockdown where really business was very, very slow, we were averaging between 6 and 8 million. Now I need you to know 1 year back, we were 1 ma. So we started seeing a very sick, in a good way, acceleration. So that is what we are talking about this morning. We are talking about the principle and practice, and specifically for honoring parents. When you go to the book of Proverbs 3:9-10, God tells us, honor the Lord with, so what now? With your what? With your possessions and first fruits. Now you ask yourself a question. If God, who doesn't breathe, doesn't go on a date, has no children, biological children, doesn't drive a car, so he needs fuel, what other things do we need in life? Netflix, transport, what? You guys don't need stuff in life. I'm going to start hanging with you. You guys are a special breed. So, if God, who doesn't really need our money because he owns cattle on 1,000 hills, right? Says we honor him with substance, which is money. We learned that from the very first essentials, that honor is by substance, substance is money. So if we see that the God that we serve tells us to honor him through our substance, what do you think would be for parents who breathe, have bills to pay, if they do have bills to pay, who need to be a blessing to people? Do you think that they would, like giving them money would be a thing? Do you think it would, in a way, work some magic in their lives? Do you think they would appreciate the money? Do you guys have parents? Why are you all not responding right now? Is it because I'm talking about money and parents and you have none, and the two have not been connecting? Your money and your your money and your parents have not been connecting. Tell your neighbor, starting today, the two are going to be meeting more often. Or the voices started going down. I said, neighbor, starting today, they're meeting a little more than before. So, when we see Exodus 20:12, right? Not the year, chapter 20, verse 12. And it says that, honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long. We used to read together in YXP. Honor your father and your mother. We see here this same promise given in Deuteronomy 5:16, and the same says, honor your father and your mother as the Lord your God has commanded you, that your days may be long, that it may be well with you in the land which you're good. So you see that in the 10 commandments that we are given, the only or the first commandment that comes with promise is because imagine a person or a child who is about to be sent to the shop, and they are about to be told, you know what, go to the shop and bring some, maybe salt and a couple of other things. But the child will be most likely disposed to not wanting to go, right? How many of you liked that part when you were younger, when you were told to go to do something? Yeah, it's very few of you, right? Because we are one and the same. If you're coming from the family I came from, a family of 11, you're sent to the shop so many times, you don't need to go to the gym. You're always walking, which means you'll never put on weight, right? So in this case, if I were the person you're telling to go to the shop, I need an incentive for me to go to the shop. For example, go to the shop, do this shopping, and you will get a sweet. Or go to the shop, do all of this shopping, because the salt you're bringing is going to be used to flavor the food you are going to eat. So do you feel like I would be more disposed to go to the shop, right? In the same breath, God says, honor your father and mother. Because it is the blessing that comes with a promise, and the promise is life and? Have you guys been reading? No, you've not? You know, it's right on the screen so you can check it out. So that your days may be long, which is life, and that it may be well with you in the land which your Lord God is giving you, which means sweet success. Success is coming your way. When we get to honor our parents, we get to tap into a thing that we would have ideally not tapped into. And God knew it, that in our lives we'll have many issues that we deal with, which is having issues with our parents. How many of you have the best of relationships with your parents? You can put up your hand. If you really do, it's actually a good thing, so put up your hand. All right? So I can see that the whole room, the hands are not up. Now, to all of you, keep the hands up, keep the hands up. How many of you have a good relationship with your father? You keep it up. If you don't have a good relationship with your father, you can drop it. Good. Now, because I was looking at all of you, some hands went down. But then, on top of that, we have so many other hands that are down. One of the things that you have to note about this is that at one point, you will be tempted, or you will fall into the pit of not having a good relationship with your parents. But God, in all his wisdom, knowing that this is a thing that will accelerate your life, he chooses to say that honor your father and mother. One, he talks about order of preference. He's talking about the father first, because quite often we have issues with our fathers, even more than our mothers. That's why you find that even when children are growing up, the absence of a father has a greater effect on them than the absence of a mother. You will see that a family will be more grounded in the Lord if the father went to church. Like the children will easily go to church than in the family where the father doesn't. So you find that the devil is always at war with the father. Do you realize you have more fights between a father and a son than a father and a daughter? Because once that is messed up, do you know what's going to happen? There's going to be a repeat of that in the father, in the son. So that means it's going to set off a chain reaction that generations thereafter, a father never connected with the son, who also doesn't connect with the son, who also doesn't connect with the son. There's a gentleman I know, didn't have a relationship with his father, grew up with his mother, finally got married, gave birth to a daughter, can't connect with the daughter. It's not that the daughter is just about, but he can't. Do you see how the devil can try to rob you? Now, this morning we are here to debunk the lies of the devil. Tell your neighbor, neighbor, the devil is not robbing me. The devil has been found pants down. Yeah, literally. So, here in the book of Matthew, chapter 15, Matthew 15, verse 3 to 9, we are dealing with Jesus, and Jesus is talking to these Pharisees, and he's telling them, you know what, you guys, you are transgressing. You transgress the commandment by, and the commandment being, honor your father and your mother. And this is what he says. Then the scribes and Pharisees who are from Jerusalem came to Jesus saying, why do your disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they do not wash their hands, and when they wash their hands when they eat bread. He answered and said to them, why do you also transgress the commandment of God because of your tradition? Go ahead. For your commandment saying, honor your father and your mother, and he who curses father or mother, let him be put to death. But you say, whoever says to his father or mother, whatever profit you might have received from me is a gift to God. We used to read together. Then he need not honor his father or mother. Thus you have made the commandment of God of no effect by your tradition. Hypocrites, well did Isaiah prophesy about you, saying, these people draw near to me with their mouths and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. And in vain they worship me, teaching us doctrines, the commandments of men. Here Jesus is telling them, you know what, you guys? You are transgressing. You are talking about the law and keeping it. And you transgress the commandment of honoring your father and mother by saying the gift that I have, I have given as a gift to God, as a gift to arise and build, as a gift to buy the land. We had a missional community thing, Frontier, and I have to give money towards that. So the money that I was intending to give my parents, I gave it to the Frontier. So we must be good. Even my parents can understand. We are talking about the Frontier, which is for more people. It is a spiritual thing. And Jesus is saying that is wrong. You are transgressing. You are making a mistake. You're digging a pit for yourself. Because that commandment comes with a promise. And he says, you come before me with your words. I love you. You are beautiful. You're the best thing I ever had. Oh, there could never be anyone like you. But we all know that the heart follows treasure. So you're running your mouth, but you're not touching your wallet. How many of you ladies here would like it when you have a guy who keeps on professing his love for you, but man, the guy never lets go of any money? You'll just go like, man, that brother can talk. That guy must be a marketer. He's about to sell me sand. Yeah? You know, if your girlfriend would appreciate, or wife, spouse, would appreciate getting money from you, your parents would appreciate getting money from you. The mistake, though, is that we think our parents don't need our money. Yeah, and in a way, they really don't. Many of our parents don't. But our parents are the soil within which there are nutrients that we need for the thing that we call long life and success. You know, like when you get a seed and drop it in the ground, the seed goes to the ground, looks for the nutrients, mango seed, looks for all the nutrients it needs, comes out from the ground, and you have mangoes. Do you know that there are mangoes right here? You don't? You think they were taken away when the concrete was cast? As long as you have soil, you have the ability of getting something out of that soil. So us honoring our parents with our substance, because substance talks about money. Money is treasure. Where your heart is, treasure will be there. Or where your treasure is, your heart will be also. There's no way you start giving money to anyone and your heart is never there. Except taxes. Okay, I know. Okay, let me just go dating lane. I know you could have met that girl that took the teeth out of you, aka detoothed you. Your heart was there, but her heart was not there. Oh, be wary when she keeps on asking you for money, but she never gives anything in return. In terms of, I'm not talking about her giving her body to you because you gave her money, but she doesn't reciprocate. Then there's something twisted, right? If that girl can also give you some money, oh, I think you have a catch, right? Right? What about you guys are not dating? What about you're married? But even when you're married, it is the same thing. That when you give your spouse money, your heart will be with her. I don't want you to even try it out, where you're like, I want to find out whether this is really true, and you start giving, if you're a man, you start giving money to another woman, and you're not giving your wife. Very soon you will realize your heart is in another direction. Now let's go back to parents, because here where we're going, you guys are starting to hate me right now. It's like I just committed a crime or something like that, but maybe the people in this area could start smiling, and So, back to parents, right? So we get to honor them, because if we part with money, our hearts will be intertwined with them. We'll care about them more. Now, you could be thinking, but they have all the money they need. Beautiful. Go ahead and give it, because you are not giving towards a need. You always get it twisted when you're always giving towards a need. Know that that is your seed and you're putting it in the ground. See, every time you see your parents just see loam soil, you're like, oh, I can do a lot with this. Drop my seed in there. I know what's coming out of there. I know life is coming towards me. I know sweet success is coming towards me. Can I open your eyes to something that you may have never seen? Do you know that money is a function of time and skill? Did you know that money is a function of time and skill? Okay, I know maybe you didn't like math. Let me break it down. Did you know that time plus skill equals to money? Because one time, you get to put in your time and you go to work. It's not enough to have the time to go to work. You also need to have a skill that can be relevant to your boss. So when you combine the two at the end of the month, what are you getting? Money. So now, you come to your parents, and here you are getting your money and you're giving it to them. But remember, they are the soil in which you get what? Long life and success. Of which, it's like you're getting time plus skill, which is equal to money, and again, you're getting long life and success, which still equals to money. What happens every time you put a seed to the ground? Do you get the same seed? Do you get the same amount of what you put into the ground? What do you get? So much more. I have to tell you, so I'm so for real with you right now. The story that I told you earlier about how much we had given our parents, I think we gave my mother about 1 million Ugandan shillings, right? Now, that was a big deal, just a little bit. But when I talk about going all through COVID, like unfazed, I'm talking about us earning through COVID. Let us say it was really a bad, because there were different incomes per month. Let us say the average was 7 million per month for the whole rest of the year. But I just put in 1 million shillings. And here I am making over 40 million because of one little action. Do you understand now when I say there's a soil that you drop in your seed and that seed will later on translate into something else? Do you feel like maybe by a matter of chance it would be a good thing for you to sow seed to your parents by actually just honoring them with your substance? Do you think it's a good idea to honor your parents? It is. At least if you won't take it by way of your results because you have not been doing it, you can take it by way of my testimony because I have been doing it. I will tell you of the times I've been favored. I've been favored by people. I mean, I've been favored before my mom. So my father left an estate, and here is my mom constantly telling me, come and build. There's land for you here to build. Come and build. I'm like, we need to first of all talk to my brothers and sisters who are part of the estate. And she's like, boy, shut up. Go get building plans. Come and build. There is land. That was not happening before. You get it? So when I'm telling you, please do consider, by the mercies of God, I beg you, please honor your parents, that all may be well with you. It's because all will literally be well with you. The funny thing I saw is that in the land which God is giving you, but I see you guys don't want land, so maybe we'll just skip on to the next one. Maybe in another lifetime you will, consider. Never take the position of saying that, you know what? Whatever gift I could have given to the Lord, let me give it to my parents. You need wisdom. He was not a fool to say, honor the Lord with your tithes and first fruits, right? But then he was still not a fool for him to give that as the first commandment with promise, that honor your father and mother. Because do you know the dream of any parent? What is the dream of any parent? It's for you to live longer than them. No one wants to bury their children. If you don't believe me, I will tell you. I've buried one of my children. But I wouldn't want that. What do I pray for my children? Long life. Are you kidding me? My daughter keeps on telling me she wants to be like me. I'm telling her, you're going to be much better than me. Yeah. Just for clarity, I just have 4 children. God has been good to me. So my wish for my children is to have a long life, to be successful, more successful than me. I know you could have had a trouble with your parents. And maybe some of them don't wish you that good. But be the wiser person. A principle is always a principle. When it comes to honoring your parents, that is a principle. When we talk about principle, we talk about something that does not care whether it is a person, whether it is it's not dependent on sex, age, location. For example, when we talk about gravity, do you feel like the gravity in California is different from the gravity in Chijabijo? No, gravity is gravity. The moment you step out, boom, you're gone, dependent on the distance between you and the ground, right? When you think about breathing, the principle is the same. In, out. When you choose to take in and not come out, you know what's about to happen. You're about to tap out. Honoring parents, or the principle of honor, still goes into what we call a principle. It's also a principle. That means whether you're born again or not, whether you are dark-skinned or not, whether you are Ugandan or not, as long as you are born and you are not Jesus, born by a virgin girl, you'll still have to honor your parents. So friends, my invitation to you this morning, very simple. Would you please honor your parents? You see, I made a mistake a few years back when I didn't take it critically because I had not been taught about the principle of honor. But then I found that my siblings, especially those who would share a lot with my parents in their treasure, I could see that they had an acceleration I didn't have. Now you have to know they are not a reverend like me. They were not a pastor like me. They were doing their stuff out there. But life was going on well. You know who needed help every now and then from them? You already figured that out. That was me. And then now I start doing it and my life changes. Friends, you have been blessed enough to be taught. Don't take the teaching in vain. Don't transgress against the teaching. Your simple instruction is one: honor your father and mother. I know in here we have people who have struggled to have a good relationship with their parents. My prayer is, would you forgive them? But even before you start forgiving them, would you honor them? Shock them. Shock their system. Send them some money, whether they need it or not. You'll find that even when they don't need it, they will still give it away. It hit me this morning that at an introduction ceremony, we take gifts to parents, but do you know what they do with them? They give them away. You're like, you guys made us sweat just so you can give them away? Well, I guess that's what they do. But why do we take the gifts? It's because we are honoring the parents. Why? That all may be well with us. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much this morning. It has been a pleasure and pressure sharing with you this word. Finally, allow me to say this. If you are really struggling in your relationship with your parents, do not wait for the time that you forgive them. Go ahead and start parting with treasure. Share with them your substance. And for some of you that may be in the room here and your parents were lost, I have to let you know that a word was given this morning and I would like to resound it in this service. If your parents went missing, those parents are going to be found. And if you're a parent who lost your children are coming back home. Heavenly Father, I thank you for the saints who are here this morning. I thank you for what you are doing in their hearts. We have learned that honor is not about the parent, but it's about us. May our hearts be open to that. May relationships be put straight. May destinies be brought back to life. May dreams come true once again. May the joy of your kingdom permeate and go to all of these families. We thank you for you have done it. In Jesus' name, amen. Please welcome Pastor Quaker, who's going to direct us on how to go about this now.
Thank you, Pastor Steve.
My goodness, wasn't that awesome? Right, and we're going to do something about it. Okay, how many weren't here last Sunday? If you weren't here, just shoot your hand up. If you were not here last Sunday. Okay, we're not that many. So we are going to go into groups. They're already designated groups. Are all the group leaders here? Group leaders first stand. Okay, I feel like they are here. Some people are whispering me, I don't know whether my group still exists. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. We are going to move very quickly into where we usually meet. The people that were not here, I'm just going to walk around and probably direct you, but you can go to, those are the group leaders, whoever the people, whoever pleases you, you walk to their group. If the group goes beyond 10 people, you don't go there, you go to the next one. Chikola sense? Yeah, about 8 people in a group. So let's do that quickly. If you were not here last Sunday, probably someone invited you, follow them. If you just walked into the room, don't worry, you're going to find a group. You just watch where people are going and you follow them. There are group leaders all the way in the back and then the ones over here. So let's go now. The adults, there is talent over there. I saw Bernard going somewhere over there. All right, let's move faster. If you already belong to a group, you move so that